Well, you did have a good one then, didn't you?
Trying.
Yes, come on. Okay. Follow me. Hello.
Please excuse my question.
Would you all please be seated? I would now like to introduce to you our County Chairman, Mr. John Johnson.
It isn't something you really should do, but I will apologise for having my backside in your face, sir. Lord Lieutenant, Mrs Dennis, distinguished guests, Legion members, poppy collectors, friends. Welcome to Lincolnshire Members Poppy Launch 2021. Do you know, it's absolutely brilliant to be back face to face and to see so many wonderful people here again. Faces that I know, new faces that I want to get to know, and hopefully new friends we will all be. And once again, what a wonderful privilege for us to be here with such a wonderful backdrop of Just Jane for Lancaster. And this is all down to our very good friends, the Panton family, who allow us to use their facilities. Seriously, ladies and gentlemen, where could you come to see a living part of Lincolnshire history? To take the opportunity to commemorate, remember and celebrate 100 years of the Legion and the Poppy Appeal. And then to move forward with a positive future. This morning, you will hear how the work of a Poppy Appeal is undertaken, and not always by Legion members. But first, to fill some of the empty seats on either side of the stage. We're always proud to see them on parade, flying the Legion's name proudly. So, those of you who can, would you please again stand? County Parade Marshal, please march on the Legion standards together with the other association colours. Sorry, sir. Joining our standard bearers from Lincolnshire, today carrying the Riders branch standard is Marcus. He's the first standard to my left, not the one in the front, but to the left. And Marcus has come all the way on his motorbike from Kent to join us today. You'll probably hear a bit about him a bit later. As you know, the Legion is committed to working with young people and keeping up the important policy of helping them truly to understand the meaning of remembrance. So would you please now welcome representations from our young people. Parade Marshal, march on our young people. Shall I just jump back? Yeah. Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, our country's future. We weren't expecting this one, but I'm so pleased that it's happening. We have got one more standard to bring on parade, and the gentleman carrying it, it'll be the last time it's carried. It's going to be laid to rest today in the chapel here at East Kirkby. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Service Royal Air Force Association standard. Parade Marshal, please do your duty. Our muster is nearly complete. Sadly, this year, the Widows Association standard can't be with us. But we do have representatives from the Widows Association. Thank you, ladies. Would you please remain standing while we have two verses of the national anthem? Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. I'm so pleased you backed up and did your sit down best. At the cenotaph on the 15th of May this year, to commemorate the start of the Legion and to mark its happening, representatives came together from the Legion, the Royal Navy, Army, Royal Air Force, Military Lives and the Merchant Navy. Each laid a wreath. We wanted to bring along today different people from other organisations to make this event something special. I would now ask Senior Electronics Officer Phil Groves from the Merchant Navy Association to come forward and take part.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank British Legion for inviting us along. I don't know if you remember, but when COVID was at its height, everyone was outside shouting and cheering for the health workers, the shelf stackers, the lorry drivers, and good for them. I stayed in. I had a rum. And I drank to the Merchant Navy guys who were stuck on ships, unable to get home, unable to get flights, unable to get shore leave. This went on and on. Here today, a vast array of blue with a little bit of red at the end. That's us. The poem was written by a Merchant Navy seafarer who survived the Second World War. And it goes like this. Heroes. Don't speak to me of heroes until you've heard the tale of all those merchant seamen who sailed through storm and gale to keep the lifeline open in freedom's hour of need, when a tyrant cast a shadow over every nation's creed. Captains, greasers, cabin boys, mates and engineers heard the call to duty and cast aside their fears. They stoked those angry boilers and stood behind the wheel, whilst cooks and stewards manned the guns on their coffins made of steel. They moved in icy convoys from Scapa to Murmansk and crossed the wildest oceans, never seeking any thanks. They sailed the South Atlantic where raiders lay in wait and kept the food lines open from Malta to the Cape. Tracked by silent U-boats which hunted from below, shelled by mighty cannons and fighters flying low. They clung to burning lifeboats where the sea had turned to flame and watched their shipmates disappear to everlasting fame. I speak not of a handful, but of 50,000 plus, some whose names we'll never know, in whom we place their trust. They never had the honour of medals on their chests, of marching bands and victory and glory and the rest. The ocean is their resting place, their tombstone is the wind. The seabirds cry their last goodbye to family and friends. Freighters, troop ships, liners, tankers by the score, fishing boats, coasters, 4,000 ships and more flew the country's ensign as they sank beneath the waves and took those countless heroes to lonely ocean graves. Their legacy is freedom to those who hold it dear, to walk with clear horizons and never hide in fear. So when you speak of heroes, remember those at sea and thank God for the merchant seamen who died to keep us free. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. So, why are we gathered here today? It's all about one of these. think we'd all look a bit silly if we had one of these in our lapels, but I thought it gives you an idea of what we're here today about, this wonderful flower, the poppy. Of course, as I said, not all of them are this size, but it's the emblem that it's all about. But I believe it's more than just that. This is where you all kind of stop. Am I on, Juni? 1, 2. 1, 1. No. Here we go. Where was? Sorry about. 1, 2. Oh.
Yes. Sorry about that. But this is where you all stop panicking, because I'm on walkabout. And I don't always believe, ladies and gentlemen, that you always need to look at the platform to make sure that that's where everything's going on. I've already said what's the poppy appeal all about. Well, it's not about me. And it's not about you, even though you do a lot of work on it. And ladies and gentlemen, you'll meet this lady a bit later. This is Emily, and she's a senior fundraiser department, yes? Or something like that. I'll tell you about it later. But what I want to know from you folks, and I want you to be honest, put your hand up if you're a poppy collector. Look at that. Absolutely marvellous. So in that case, this is where you all panic. Why do you do it?
Oh, what a good question. Because every year we say we will remember them, and if we don't keep doing it, who will remember them?
That's what it's about. Who else is around? Hello, would you like to say something in my magical blue, whatever it is?
I do it because it's good to remember people who did something good for you. They have a better life and a better country.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're learning something. It's not because we want praise, it's because what people are thinking about. I've got another young lady here who's going to say something. Well, her husband just pointed to her, so...
I do it in memory of everybody, but especially in memory of my dad who flew in the RAF during the war.
That's what it's about. The good thing, ladies and gentlemen, and please don't shoot me, because I know a lot of you would love to, especially if I get near you with a microphone. The problem we have is we're always asking for donations. We don't sell anything in the poppy appeal. We're a charity that relies on donations. And the bit I don't like is when the poppy appeal becomes a competition. It's not a competition, ladies and gentlemen. If we get a bit more than what we got last year, it's a bonus. If we don't get as much, we should be thankful. So don't keep yourselves in the teeth when you go out collecting and thinking, I haven't reached my target of what we got last year. If I can picture supermarkets' expression, every penny helps. And that is exactly what the poppy appeal is about. You've heard a young person over there who collects. We've had a difficult 2 years, poppy appeal wise, but we don't pack in. Poppy collectors are unique. wonderful young ladies here who sit behind an office desk all day and never come out doing things. You can get your own back from me later. Yes, you can too. But if anybody thinks that being a poppy collector is easy, it's not. Cold, November, October, standing on a street corner, we must be British. To all the supermarkets, the shops, the businesses, the schools, the churches, who allow us to use their premises to collect. They are so marvellous. But I will say it again, you are all marvellous. Every poppy that is worn with a magical word, pride. I get told off where I come from, because I have a trilby which I wear in winter time, and on my trilby, permanently, are 3 poppies. And people say, excuse me, you're not supposed to wear the poppy, you're only allowed to wear it for a fortnight. Where does it say in rules and regulations in the handbook, you only wear it for a fortnight? You can wear it all year round. Be proud to wear it all year round. Be proud to wear it when you go to bed, or on your pyjamas, or put on your nightie. I won't say that I've got one on my nightie, otherwise you'll probably start thinking of a thing anyway. But seriously, there's a lot that goes on. These wonderful folks here carry these wonderful standards, show what the Legion's about. But I want you all now to give yourselves a real good round of applause to thank you for being our poppy collectors. And remember, you're going to do it this year, and we're not going away. We're here for good. Remember what follows the Poppy Appeal? Another great charity, Children in Need. But we don't need a television set or fantastic celebrities to raise money. We've got our celebrities, and they're you. Thank you. So yes, we need to say thank you to all those who collect and work in any way for the Poppy Appeal, which leads me on to introducing you to another association who works closely with the Legion, especially in Mablethorpe. Could I ask Branch Vice Chairman Tom Sawyer from the Royal Air Force Association to come forward and say a few words. Okay, Tom?
Yeah, okay, John. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's only a short one. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As we launch the Poppy Appeal for 2021, I would like to reflect as to why we do this. This is to honour and support those that did come home, those with mental issues, those with physical difficulties, whether their uniforms were blue, black or khaki. The injuries are no different. All 3 services had to learn that you had to work together. And so it is today. We, and by we I mean Mablethorpe Royal Air Force Association and the Royal British Legion, have over the past few years built a rapport through cooperation and mutual respect. This is not only for fundraising, but also socially. The Mablethorpe Veterans Breakfast Club is just but one instance, where we all get together and the normal inter-service reactions are observed. We arrive as brothers and we depart in the same way. It's a pity that Royal Naval Association don't have a branch in Mablethorpe, because we could include them as well. But having said that, we do have Royal Naval veterans. The benefits of such close cooperation is that each fundraising event we can put more manpower on the ground, cover a greater area, and therefore maximising takings. And that, as we all know, is the whole purpose of today's launch. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
I'll tell you a little story, ladies and gentlemen. When I asked for somebody from the Royal Air Force Association to say a few words, Tom says, I don't do things like that. In fact, he says, I'm a very quiet person. But can I just say to the Royal Air Force Association, now he's done it once, you know where he is. It now gives me the greatest of pleasure to introduce our wonderful musicians, Swines Ed Band, under the leadership of Mr. John Lyons. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please sit back and listen to their wonderful music.
Thank you for that introduction. We're going to play a few pieces in our short section here. We're going to start with a piece of music by John Williams called Hymn to the Fallen. Thank you. thank you very much. For our final piece,
Just hope we have a good platinum for the Queen. Thank you very much. I'll tell you one thing, they say music can change anything. We've been sat here listening to them, and you would be quite surprised, ladies and gentlemen, what a beautiful blue sky it is outside now. So thank you, Swineshead Band, you brought the sky back. While getting some paperwork together in respect of the Legion over the last few weeks, it's remarkable what you come across. And especially when you get to where I am with all the paperwork that's coming in and out of my emails. And I came across the following, which I'd just like to read. But I do apologise if you haven't heard it before. Her hair was up in a ponytail, her favourite dress tied with a bow. Today was Father's Day at school, and she couldn't wait to go. But her mummy tried to tell her that she probably should stay home, why the kids might not understand if she went to school alone. But she was not afraid. She knew just what to say, what to tell her classmates of why he wasn't there today. But still, her mother worried for her to face this day alone, and that was why once again she tried to keep her daughter home. But the little girl went to school eager to tell them all about a dad she never sees, a dad who never calls. There were daddies all along the wall for everyone to meet. Children squirming impatiently, anxious in their seats. One by one, the teacher called a pupil from the class to introduce their daddy as seconds slowly passed. At last, the teacher called her name. Every child turned to stare. Each of them was searching a man who wasn't there. "Where's her daddy at?" she heard a boy crawl out. "She probably doesn't have one," another was dared to shout. And from somewhere near the back, she heard a daddy say, "Looks like another deadbeat dad, too busy to waste his day." The words did not offend her, and she smiled up at her mum and looked back at her teacher, who told her to go on. And with hands behind her back, slowly she began to speak. And out from the mouth of a child came words incredibly unique. "My daddy couldn't be here because he lives so far away. But I know he wishes he could be, since this is a special day. And though you cannot meet him, I wanted you to know all about my daddy and how much he loves me so. He loved to tell me stories. He taught me to ride my bike. He surprised me with pink roses and taught me to fly a kite. We used to share chocolate sundaes and ice creams in a cone. And though you cannot see him, I'm not standing here alone, because my daddy is always with me, even though we are apart. I know because he told me he'll forever be in my heart." With that, her little hand reached up and lay across her chest, feeling her own heartbeat beneath her favourite dress. And from somewhere here in the crowds of dads, her mother stood in tears, proudly watching her daughter, who was wise beyond her years. For she stood up for the love of a man not in her life, doing what was best for her, doing what was right. And when she dropped her hand back down, staring straight into the crowd, she finished with a voice so soft, but its message clear and loud. I love my daddy very much. He's my shining star. And if he could, he'd be here. But heaven's just too far. You see, he's a British soldier and died just this past year when a roadside bomb hit his convoy and taught all Britons to fear. But sometimes when I close my eyes, it's like he's never went away. And then she closed her eyes and saw him there that day. And to her mother's amazement, she witnessed with surprise a room full of daddies and children, all starting to close their eyes. Who knows what they saw before them? Who knows what they felt inside? Perhaps for merely a second, they saw him at her side. I know you're with me, Daddy. To the silence she called out, and what happened next made believers of those who once filled with doubt. Not one in that room could explain it, for each of their eyes had been closed. But there, on the desk beside her, was a fragrant, long-stemmed rose. And a child was blessed, if only for a moment, by the love of her shining star, and given the gift of believing that heaven is never too far. I love you, Daddy. Trade Marshal, will you get your standard bearers ready for the Act of Remembrance? Once again, could I ask those of you who could stand, if you please would? They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years from them. At the going down of the sun in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
When you go home, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow, we gave our today. Please be seated. As I said earlier, ladies and gentlemen, when I went on walkabout, we've got a couple of friends with us. I hope they still are. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. You will protect me, sir, won't you? I'll try. Thank you. Okay. So I'd like to ask to come forward Gemma Leaning, our local community fundraiser, and Emma Fry, who's a senior community fundraiser, or probably I've got that wrong, but she'll tell you about it. Ladies and gentlemen, our Poppy Appeal team.
Hello everybody, hope you can all see me above this. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for inviting us here today. It's always a pleasure to be invited and see everybody. As a community fundraiser for Lincolnshire, it's an absolute pleasure to be invited and to see you all here. It's also an honour to do this job and to be out there supporting all of the Poppy Appeal organisers and all of the volunteers that give up so much of their time and dedicate so much effort and everything to actually collect for the Poppy Appeal every year. My hat goes off to you. You do an outstanding job. It's absolutely wonderful. And there wouldn't be a Poppy Appeal without you guys. You really are the heart of the Royal British Legion. It's been a difficult couple of years for the Poppy Appeal, as we all know, but this year it's our centenary and we do hope that we can be back to business as usual and be out there in our communities where we belong. And we can raise that much needed money for our beneficiaries that we do support, and that's what we are here for. There's lots of you here that will know me already, and that are my Poppy Appeal organisers. It's wonderful to see you all here today. And many of you that did put your hands up to say that you're volunteers, and I thank you all for everything that you do for us. We're always in desperate need of more volunteers, so if there's anyone that would like to come and help, please do get in contact with me. We'd be delighted to welcome you on board. We are encouraging our younger members to join as well. We've recently signed up with Lincoln College, which is absolutely fantastic. We've now collaborated with them, and we have over 100 students helping out this year as part of their work placement for the Poppy Appeal, which is a wonderful thing that we've achieved, and that's something we're rolling out across Lincolnshire to get the youth involved, because they are our tomorrows. Yeah. So on that note, thank you all, and I'm going to hand over to Emily to come up and have a few words. Thank you.
Hello everybody. I did bring a speech, not a written one. It's not very long, don't worry. Hi, my name's Emily. I'm part of the Central Poppy Appeal team. They don't let me out often, and you might find out why. Hopefully not, though. Yeah, I've been with the RBL for 5 years, and been with the RAF Reserves for 7. So again, please don't hold that against me either. Thank you for inviting me here today. Yeah, to the Lincolnshire County Poppy launch. It's, as you know, 100 years of the Poppy Appeal, the RBL Poppy Appeal on the 11th of November, and it first started on the 11th of November 1921. In 1921, the RBL commissioned 9 million poppies, I shouldn't say paper because back then they were silk, and now we produce something in the remit of 40 million poppies each year. This year's Poppy Appeal is really focused on our collectors, which I know is part of the sort of the central team we've really been championing for, and we hope that for everybody in this room who is a poppy collector, who has been a poppy collector or is interested in being a poppy collector, this year the focus is really on you. So the Poppy Appeal is a volunteer-run appeal. It always has been and it always will be. So without the people in this room that make that happen, we wouldn't have an appeal. So thank you. So the poppy may have changed. It's changed over the years in shape, size, material. Looking forward, it will be changing again to be more biodegradable, in keeping with our sort of pledge for sustainability. But the actual symbol of what it stands for has never changed, and it won't change. So thank you for everyone here who's championing remembrance, and who keeps that alive as it very much is still relevant. So thank you again. That's all from me.
This poem was written by a lady called Glynis Webb in 2014, who is a friend of mine, and I asked permission to use it today. And it is entitled Poppies. I saw a field of poppies, their colours fresh and bright, waving their heads in unison, an artist's pure delight. But as the daylight faded and the moon caressed each stem, a host of silhouettes appeared, whispering, "Please remember them." The band of shadows moved across a field of mud and grime, towards a faceless enemy, a horror of our time. Together they moved, together they prayed, together they fought, and many were laid. In the very same field of the poppies I saw, a symbol of loss in the darkness of war. I saw a vase of poppies on a table in a hall, so fragile was their outline against the dark blue wall. But as the lamplight faded, petals wilted everywhere, as the host of silhouettes appeared saying, "Please let someone care." The band of shadows moved again, by now their numbers thinning, as they gave their all for you and me in a war that needed winning. Together they moved, together they cried, together they fought, together they died, and were laid neath the soil where the poppies had grown, a symbol of loss from the seeds that were sown. I saw a box of poppies, their colours fresh and bright, held by a veteran soldier, returned safe from his fight. The light danced on his medals, earned from a war long ago. His message clear, remember that the fighting still goes on. I watched the ranks of soldiers, all ages side by side, march towards the cenotaph, their poppies worn with pride. Together they move, together they pray, together they'll fight in the cold light of day. Some will live, some will die, for their fate it is sealed, and the poppies will sway in the same poppy field.
Thank you, Gemma. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Pat. In the past, ladies and gentlemen, we have passed round collecting buckets for you to donate to the Poppy Appeal. But most of you, I know, will be contributing in your own areas. Not once, not twice, but most likely several times. If you would like to donate today, though, some of our county stewards are wandering around with red buckets. Only please put the money in the red buckets, not their pockets. And if you do want to donate, thank you very much. So now we've come to the reason why we've all gathered here today. To see Lincolnshire County Poppy Appeal officially launched for 2021. So it gives me the greatest of pleasure to welcome a fantastic person who stands proud and tall representing Her Majesty the Queen in Lincolnshire. As well as being our Lord Lieutenant, he's also our county patron. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome the Lord Lieutenant.
Chairman, servicemen and women, veterans, cadets, standard bearers, band, ladies and gentlemen, and not forgetting your young dogs over there. May the 15th, 1921, 100 years ago, earlier on this year, the Royal British Legion was formed by the Earl Haig and Tom Lister, two great leaders of service men and women. The reason for the formation of the Royal British Legion is as important today as it was then. Certain different guidelines, perhaps, but the basics are still needed. With rehabilitation, re-employment, housing support, health of all kinds, and especially these days perhaps more mental health. And also, of course, trying to help people with their finances. The significance of the poppy, which is a symbol of reflection in times of silence. The tumbling poppy leaves in church services sometimes changes colour from red to other shades. Recently, the other day, the police blew at the National Police Memorial service in Lincoln Cathedral. War memorials are still being erected around the country and around the world. Notably this year in June, with the British Normandy Memorial was completed. Lincolnshire supports the armed forces in many, many different ways. And most recently, we visited Grantham to hear the Coldstream Guards sing to their band, Not I'm Afraid the Grenadier Guards, as was the tune. Also at the Coldstream Guards was a wonderful performance by Colin Thackeray. As you may recall, won Britain's Got Talent. He sang quite beautifully. The RBL carries forward to the next 100 years, and we must support them as much as we possibly can. It is to this extent that we look forward to the support of all your collectors going out and raising as much money as possible for this wonderful cause. Her Majesty said at the height of the pandemic, we will meet again, and here we are today, meeting again. I therefore have the greatest pleasure of officially launching the 2021 Royal British Legion Poppy Appeal. Thank you.
If I could ask Mr. and Mrs. Bourne to come forward, please. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Bourne, who you see in front of me, are representing all of you poppy collectors within the county. In our villages, in our towns, Lincoln City. Without all you marvellous people of all age groups from different backgrounds, I will now call upon our County Chaplain, the Reverend Canon John Fold, to please lead us in prayer and to officially bless the collectors and workers for the Poppy Appeal in Lincolnshire. Reverend John.
Just before I do that, may I say that during the course of this event, the Lord has spoken to me, and he said, yes, remember your father and your own time in the Royal Air Force and your grandfather's time in the army, but also remember your grandmother's side, who were farm workers and in fact helped to keep the home fires burning and the crops growing. So today we are giving thanks for those who served us, not just in the armed forces, but of course those are most important to us, but also the others who served them. Thank you for allowing me to say that. In your name, O Lord, we dedicate and hallow these poppies, and we ask your blessing upon those who will give them to the public in their various ways. We ask your blessing upon them and upon those who give to this worthy cause. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
We nearly got to the end, ladies and gentlemen. We do that, ladies and gentlemen, so that the legs don't go to sleep, in case you wonder why they keep going up and down. So, I mentioned at the start, we have with us today Marcus. Would you just like to stand, Marcus, so everybody can have a good look at you? Okay. He is open for having his photograph taken later, ladies, if you want him. But I said at the very start, we're a massive big team going out doing the work we do. And it's only right that the ones who make the most noise when they arrive should be able to say a few words. Andy?
I did bring a long speech, but I've got rid of it. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. In fact, no, it's afternoon now. Never could tell the time. I'm Andy Downey, the County Rep for the Riders branch of the Legion. I would like to thank the County Chairman for this opportunity to stand here before you, but I'm not sure if it's not a punishment for being a bit of a nuisance. Yeah, I thought so. Some of you will know the Riders branch is a national branch of the Legion, and we are honoured to be able to parade our standard at this event. At present, we have some 4,500 members throughout the country and abroad, including across the pond and in China. The branch was formed in 2004 by 14 friends who wanted to combine their love of motorcycles with collecting for the Poppy Appeal and promoting the Legion. We attend motorcycle rallies and other events throughout the year. The branch also hosts a non-attendance rally where you pay to not go. You receive a badge, a certificate to prove you did not go. We have so far not been to 10 Acre Wood, Valhalla, the Titanic Ballroom and a few other places. The rally is open to anybody who doesn't want to attend a bike rally, and a link can be found on the front page of our newsletter, which is on the county website. And I would like as many of you as possible. It only costs £6 and you don't have to go. And moving on, just like the rest of the Legion, we are split into regions. and we fall into the East Midlands region. As a region last year, we collected over £21,000 for the Poppy Appeal, and the branch collected more than 70,000. The branch has in 17 years collected 1.5 million. Thank you. I know it's not a competition, but the numbers need saying. We're proud of what we do. Moving, Derby and Notts riders have been at Burton Hospital on Thursday and Royal Derby yesterday, collecting £3,345.94. So we've now collected about £4,000 in this Poppy Appeal period. And finally, if any local branch would like our attendance at their event, please let me know. And I'd like to also thank you all for putting up with me, listening to the noise of our motorcycles, and the Halfway Heroes Motorcycle Club who joined us today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Andy. In life, things come and go, but I am very certain that the poppy is a symbol that speaks for itself. There is no question of what it stands for. So quickly did the poppy take off as the national emblem of remembrance. Over the last century, Remembrance Day and the Poppy Appeal bedded in as part of the national life of Britain. Long may it continue and grow to provide the help it gives to those who may need it. I was once told many years ago that whatever age we are all God's children. And I'm sure Ken and John will agree with that.
Yes.
If I could share some words of a song, I'm not going to sing it.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness, he says. But I want you to think about these words. Hold my hand, hold it tight. Never mind the colour, yellow, black or white. Children of the world unite, keep the candle burning bright. Hold my hand, yellow, black or white. That's how we should be, ladies and gentlemen, in this world we live in. If a message that can go from out of here today is, let there be peace on earth, and let it start with us. Normally, we will call it a day, and the standards will march off. But when we have a problem, because we draw the raffle, when everybody's wandering about doing things and there's so much noise, so nobody ever knows if they've won the ticket to ride on this lady behind me. So what we decided to do was to draw the raffle while you're sat there. And whoever the winner is can come and meet the Lord Lieutenant's dear lady and collect your boarding pass. And then you'll know it's you, and we'll know who you are, and the chap in the corner over there would love to know who you are because he's got one seat left. So, Anne, would you like to bring your magical bucket across? The taxi ride is at 2 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. I do say to you, whoever's won it, go to the toilet first. There are no facilities on board. You're all nervous now, aren't you, Annie?
Yeah, madam. That's the you have to get past it when you've chosen the ticket to choose it now. All in suspense.
Would you like me to read it out? I thought it's probably saying that.
It's all right, Johnny, it's mine. You don't have to read it out.
And if it's not mine.
It says on the back,
Sentence, yeah, sentence.
sentence number 78. Would you like to come forward, please? today, did you?
There you are. Thank you very much. Lovely ride. Thank you very much.
See the gentleman in the doorway with glasses? If he waves at me,
Oh yeah.
would you like to go see him?
Now.
Yes, thank you. Second prize goes to number, you don't have to come forward,
You collect them at the
you
end.
just go to the number
the end.
76, L. Kate. So, give the box to hold that.
You hold the box. You hold the box.
Yeah, yeah.
Hold that.
You sort it out.
Delegation.
Third prize, number 20, D. Hewitt. Just some more thank yous. Firstly, to our Lord Lieutenant and Mrs Dennis for being with us today. The Reverend Can John Ford. To our branch standard bearers and bearers from other associations together with our young people. Our County Parade Marshal Alan Canham. Our wonderful Swineshead band under the baton of Mr John Lyon. Mrs Christine Panton for playing the last post in the valley. To all those who took part in sharing their thoughts and words, to the Mablethorpe First Aid team who have been kept very quiet, and I'm so pleased they have. To Grace Knight Hall and team, to Anne Lincoln and team, and our friends from Newton, our sound team Julian and Stuart, to members of the County Committee for all their work, and to all of you for coming. But finally, but definitely not last, to all those who work here, volunteer here at the Aviation Centre, for making it us very welcome today. They are a marvellous team, and what a marvellous family the Pantons are, for putting their heart and spirit in keeping remembrance alive. Please will you show your appreciation to the Panton family. Pat is now going to be for you, Mum. And the other one we've decided, because I did take the mickey out of Emily, we thought you could go home with a little present as well. Like I said, Just Jane will be taxiing at 2 p.m, where on its return back into its stanchion outside, it will release a flurry of poppy petals. And please, a personal message from me. When you go home, do drive safely. Stay safe and keep the work of the Legion going strong. And I wish you all the success with a poppy appeal in your areas. You take the salute, sir.
March off standard turn.
Carry on, Parade Marshal. Please stand.